Well, midweek, Wednesday, the 16th day in the month of September 2020. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform. This is the pinnacle of all discussions right here. The program comes up on radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. Of course, we take a look at critical issues as it affect our dear nation, Nigeria, and also as it affect our state, Abia State. And welcome. It's a special edition. Of course, we've done several promos, so you have an idea of who the guest is this morning. My name is Michael Oni. Now, this morning, I have joining me the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Public Affairs, Mr. Ajuri Ngalale. Good morning to you, Mr. Ajuri.
Good morning to you, my brother.
All right, you're welcome. My name is Michael, and you're live on Flow 94.9 FM.
It's really a pleasure. Good morning to the great people of Abia State.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. Welcome. And, of course, this is the platform. We have special interviews, especially as we hear from the decision makers, to help you also hear from the horse's mouth to avoid some beer parlor discussions. We will be diving into big issues this morning. We will be talking about the regulation, the power sector, the increase in electricity tariffs, the job creation, small and medium enterprises, and of course some other issues, especially the National Economic Sustainability Plan, and of course several other issues. I'm going to throw the lines open early for you to participate, and of course drop your comments and your calls. The lines are 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Well, I need to let you know that we will be concentrating on the government policies, policies this morning, strictly government policies, of course, as it affects you. So let's go straight to the discussion this morning. Mr. Ajuri, you switched and now you're on the other side. You've been a journalist. I don't know if you're still a journalist, and how exactly are you coping with the job?
Thank you very much, my brother. Well, first of all, I think the notion in the country that we have that government is separate from us is fundamentally flawed. And the reason why I say that is because what happens in government impacts all of us. The decisions taken by government impact all of us, just the way that the decisions taken by people impact the government. So truly, in real terms, we're actually very much we should be together. I think really for me, my agenda has always been that of a Nigerian. So when I was in journalism on television, my focus was about making sure that whatever is in the interest of the country is put forward, and whatever is not in the interest of the country is exposed. And that continues to be the case.
Okay, let's be very specific with some of the issues on ground now that we would like you to address this morning. The issue of the regulation. Now we've seen the prices of petrol and some of the filling stations going as much as 165 naira, especially in the southeastern part of the country. And things are really hard right now for the common man on the street. I don't know how the government will defend this. We've seen protests on the streets. That started on the 2nd of September 2020 with the announcement that was made to the effect that the pump price of the premium motor spirit has been increased to 151 naira 50 kobo per liter, and that announcement was made by the PPPRA. And one will be asking, the regulation, it means PPPRA should not decide the prices of the price of the premium motor spirit. Right. Do we really have the deregulation?
Yeah, thank you very much. So first of all, it's not about defending any particular thing. It's about telling the truth. It's about telling the truth. We just need to tell the truth to ourselves, and we need to stop engaging in any form of propaganda or a narrative setting. Really what it is this. Where we are right now as a country is we are currently operating with 40% of the revenues we were operating with in January. Anybody who we're taking it down to the household level. If somebody is earning 100,000 naira a month in salary in January, and then they find that in September they're earning 40,000 naira in a month, and they have an entire family to cater for, there's no way that they're going to be spending money the same way they were when they were earning 100,000. Now that they're earning 40,000, they would definitely have to adjust and make some difficult decisions as to what is most critical and what is not most critical. Where we are as a country right now is that we are currently sharing with all state governments and local government areas of this country 40% of what were already low revenues in January. So where we are now is to say, look, paying 1 trillion naira, right, to fund a petroleum subsidy, right, that predominantly is impacting on the lives of some independent marketers who are distributing the product. We think that is a waste of money, and the better use of that money is to invest in programs that will directly impact on the lives of people. For example, if you look at the current, the new survival fund we put in place, I want to be very clear. Anybody listening to this program, they should go to www.survivalfund.ng. That is survivalfund.ng. We are put in place 75 billion naira worth of grants. I'm not talking of loan, no, I'm talking of grants. That means that is money you will not have to pay back to government. The way it works is if you have an MSME, whether it's been formally registered with CAC, or it has not been registered at all, you register on the portal there. It's all automated, so it's not about knowing a senator or a governor or anybody. You don't need to know anybody. Just apply on the website and be able to access the grant opportunities to cushion the effects of COVID-19. I think for us now, where we are is that in March, we announced the deregulation. PPPRA announced rightly, as you rightly mentioned, that they want to be out of the business of setting pump price in the country. Now, the problem you have is a situation whereby in March, the international oil price was what? $15 per barrel, $15 per barrel. It had crashed. So now, when we took that decision to deregulate and we announced it, Nigerians were very happy because the pump price did what? It went down because the international oil price was low. So now, since March, the international oil price has done what? It has recovered from $15 per barrel where it was in March. It is now at $40 per barrel as of today. So the challenge, of course, is that naturally, because the international value of oil has gone up, the landing cost, all of the different things will go up, and the pump price will go up. If our neighbors here in the West African sub-region, on average, is 320 naira per liter. In fact, the second cheapest fuel in West Africa is in Sierra Leone, where they're selling it at 257 naira per liter. We are doing 162, and this is after the adjustment that has been made. So for us now, the issue is about making sure that our people understand fully why it is we have taken this decision. It's not because we want people to suffer. No, it's because the decision has been taken for us. The economic fundamentals of the country simply cannot support a subsidy right now. That is the bottom line. It's not about any other thing than that. If you are earning a salary that's been cut by 60%, you will not be going to look for how you are going to buy a new car. You will not do that because your salary does not support it. That is where we are as a country.
Now, no doubt, the government had goods in their mind for removing the subsidy, of course, for the removal of the subsidy on the premium motor spirits, the petrol. But the issue is the timing now. We're battling with COVID-19. The country is battling with a pandemic, which is also affecting the economy and affecting the common man on the street, because I will always focus and channel the discussion to the common man on the street. They are the true Nigerians. So,
of course.
The issue is the timing. Now we have between 160 naira to 165 naira per liter. That's the amount the petrol is being sold in the country, and this is also affecting all other sectors. The food, they've gone up. The prices of some of the commodities we buy in the market, they've gone up. Do you think it is in the benefit interest of the common man on the street?
Thank you very much. First of all, the situation, yes, is that when you talk about timing, what is the question is this: what is it that has caused the nation to lose 60% of its revenues? What is it that caused that? Is it not the pandemic you're referring to? It is now. It is COVID-19 that you're referring to. That is why we have the economic situation that we have. And it's not just by Nigeria, by the way. Nigeria's economy has contracted by 6%. In South Africa, the South African economy has contracted by 40%. 40%. So we are even going to be going into growth by the first quarter of next year. But that's an aside. The real issue, when you talk about timing, is the fact that we have 60% of our revenues that have been cut as a result of COVID-19. So that is why we are in a position now that we are in a position where we cannot afford the subsidy. It's because of the timing of the pandemic. So it's really a kind of a wrong theory to say that because the pandemic is here now, that is the reason why we should spend money on a subsidy instead of paying pensioners, instead of paying civil servants so that they can feed, instead of paying our armed forces to be able to conduct the operations they're conducting, instead of being able to provide roads, railways, power stations, and agricultural production that is the future of the economy. We should drop all of that so that we can pay a petroleum subsidy with 40% of the revenues. I don't think any person with any basic understanding of economic management, even at the household level, will agree that that will be a wise decision.
Okay, now let's talk about the electricity tariff. It is coming at the same time that we're having increase in the prices of the crude oil commodities, especially the premium motor spirit, that's the PMS, the petrol. Now, electricity tariff, the money we're paying to have a constant electricity power supply, which we're not getting, has gone up from the 1st of September.
Yes, let me be very clear about this, because this has been one of the areas of the major, very significant misinformation and outright deception, is the electricity tariff. The way it works is it's been very clearly laid out, and I want to emphasize it here, that in the past, what you had in electricity tariff increase was general increase. That means that whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you get meter, whether you don't get meter, whether they see light, whether you know they see light, you go get tariff increase. That is how previous governments have been doing tariff increase. But what President Muhammadu Buhari did is because he said, look, we're in a pandemic, number one. Number two, he has always had a soft spot for the poor masses of this country who elected him. So he said, look, the reality of the matter is we have to now create a distinction. We cannot just give everybody tariff increase. So what he now said is that the tariff increase must be service-based. So he said that any Nigerian, any person living in Nigeria that is seeing less than 12 hours of light in a day, they will not see a kobo of tariff increase. And I want to repeat that. Any Nigerian who is not seeing up to 12 hours of light in a day in their home or their business, they will not see a kobo of tariff increase. That is 65% of the population. 65% of the population will not see anything like tariff increase.
Mr. Ajuri, my question now is,
please.
how do you determine the Nigerians that are not receiving up to 12 hours of electricity power supply?
Very good. So there are two major issues here. One is that the individuals who are receiving more than 12 hours of light in a day are those who will see the increase in their tariff. That's number one. Number two is the measurement, the parameter by which you will measure who gets power and who doesn't get power. There are two mechanisms. One, the distribution companies have all of that information. That's number one. But number two, the regulator, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has already set up a new independent apparatus that is going to collect all of the data from all of the points, the power points in the country, to know exactly how much power was given to where and for how long, when, and all of that information. So even the distribution companies are not given the benefit of the doubt. So that is a major one. Then secondly, and this is very, very critical, and I want if people have not heard any other thing that I've said on this conversation, I want to appeal to people to listen to this one. Within this regulation, the president put in place what we call capping regulation. Capping regulation. What is capping regulation? In the past, what you had was a situation whereby distribution companies, if you do not have a meter, they will just give you a bill of any amount of money, and if you don't pay it, they will disconnect you. That is how these distribution companies have been exploiting Nigerians anyhow. So what the president has done in this regulation is he put capping regulation that says that if I am living in Umuahia, in a neighborhood in Umuahia, and I do not have a meter, but my neighbor get meter for my area, I get meter, then the capping regulation says that if my neighbor will get meter, because if you have a meter, you are seeing the amount of energy you're consuming and you're paying for only the energy you're consuming. So if my neighbor who has a meter is being charged 5,000 naira in a month because of the amount of power that has come into that area, then me, where no get meter inside of that same neighborhood, distribution company no fit charge me again more than the 5,000 naira where they charge my neighbor where get meter. That is how the regulation works. So now, unlike before where you had this exploitative estimated billing, this regulation now puts an end to that. They cannot charge any Nigerian who does not have a meter more than they charge the person who is living in that area who has a meter. And that is very, very critical.
All right, I would like to get reactions from our listener before I take you on some other issues this morning, Mr. Ajuri Ngalale. We've been speaking with the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Public Affairs. It's a special edition of the program, The Platform, live on Flow 94.9 FM. You can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms, Flow FM TV on YouTube. On Facebook, it's Facebook Flow 949 FM, and also on Twitter it's at Flow 949 FM. You can also tweet at me, Michael Oni, on Twitter. Now let's throw the lines open. 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. You have to be very brief and straight to the point, because we have some other issues to deal with this morning on the platform. Hello, good morning to you. Yes, good morning. Quickly. All right. Can you change your location so that we can have a better reception, please? All right. I will have to let you go. Hello. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes. Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. My name is Owase Chidebere. Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, my dear brother.
Thank you. How are you doing for that area?
We are managing our best.
All right, work quickly because others are waiting.
I followed your Twitter account yesterday when you posted the SME grant. Some of my friends that I shared that particular post, we are complaining that the platform has not been able to be open since that yesterday up until now. That's number one. Number two is this. Don't you think that the hike in fuel price is very, very much on the poor people? Number three, the hike on electricity. Don't you equally think that it's not the right time? We are looking at the COVID-19.
Okay, I think I have put up that question of timing to Mr. Ajuri already. All right.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it is true that you have already asked me that question. But let me just say to my brother that when it comes to the website that you're referring to, I was very clear in stating that portal will only open on September 21st. September 21st never reached now. So let's get to September 21st and then tell your friends to try again. Again, it's www.survivalfund.ng. Get your friends registered. It's for business people, and we know that we are very proud, and this administration is very, very proud of the industrial capacity and commercial sagacity of the people of the Southeast, and we want to encourage it. So please take advantage of these grants on that survival fund.
All right. Okay, let's get more reactions on the phone lines now. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Good morning to your guests online.
Good morning.
Michael, I'm Hussein Maned. I'm calling from Umaya.
All right.
I listened to what your guest is talking to, as in the way he's explaining why trying to justify the subsidy removal and the electricity tariff hike in this time that Nigerians are crying. Man, there are some analyses that to me, it will look as if that you are leading Nigerians to anarchy. It's not supposed to be so, Oga. We all are human beings. It is he that wears the shoe, know where it pinches him or it thanks him. Maybe you may be in your comfort zone. You never knew what people are going through in this country as it stands today. And you are trying to...
Now the question, go straight to the question.
Mr. Michael Oni, how can somebody be telling us that you are trying to justify the removal of fuel subsidy now that Nigeria is trying to recover? You explain of crude oil getting to 40%. When it was 70% last year, 2 previous year that this is 2015 that you came into power. Have you ever, did you remove that subsidy? No, Nigerians are yelling, Nigerians are crying, Nigerians are dying in pains on hunger.
Okay, let me respond, please.
All right, do respond.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me just start by saying to my brother, because he is my brother, even though he was very insulting in his comment. He remains my brother. I will just say to my brother very quickly that he does not know my background, and he does not know my background. He does not know where I came from. I know what it is not to be able to eat in a day. I have lived that life. I came up in an impoverished background. If you don't know, don't make claims you don't understand. That's number one. Number two, the issues of disconnection, or the notion that government is disconnected from people, is absolutely could not be further from the truth. I am in those meetings, my brother. I'm not an outsider. I'm inside. So I do not have the perspective of somebody who does not know. I have the perspective of somebody who knows. So when these engagements are going on, the question you will always hear from the president and the vice president: how will this thing impact on Nigerians? Okay, fine. If we have to take this difficult decision, how do we take the decision in a way that mitigates the negative impact on the livelihoods of Nigerians? Okay. You ask the question: why didn't we do this when the international oil price was $70 per barrel? The reason why, my brother, was there was not a global pandemic that had cut our revenues by 60%. That is the thing that people are missing in this whole thing. They think that there are people who still believe. They will not listen to what you're saying. When you're telling them that we are not in the same situation we were in before, when all things were equal, the reason why the president did not remove the subsidy in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 was because he cared about the poor masses. It was because he did not want prices of transportation to go up, prices of bread and foodstuffs to go up because of increase in fuel price. It was because of that he kept the subsidy intact, because he cared about people. So and when the oil price was $70 a barrel, if he had deregulated at that time, do you know what that costs at the pump? Right now it's $40 a barrel, and we're talking of 162, and people are upset. How much more if we deregulated then, when it was $70 a barrel, when pump price would have been over 200 naira per liter? Would people not have been more upset? So please let us be very, very understanding of the issues, less emotional and more rational when we're discussing these issues. Okay. The reality of the matter. Let me just say this very quickly.
Okay,
let me
just say this very quickly.
The president had kept the subsidy in place to protect Nigerians. The only reason why that subsidy is not still in place is because the president is absolutely determined that we has obviously seen very clearly that we have to do what we have to do now to be able to stay above water. We have 40% of our revenues. We have an insurgency in the northeast. We have bandits in the northwest. We have farms across the country that are struggling to produce food items as a result of insecurity in those parts of the country. And we have to pay the salaries of all of these armed forces. You have to equip them, feed them, shelter them, protect them. Then you have to pay all of your doctors, your public teachers, all of your civil servants across the country. And in doing all of that, you still have to make sure that you are building infrastructure across the country wherever possible. So we have to be able to.
We need to move on to some other issues now. I would like to ask my question with this particular message. It's coming from Esongwa Ugochukwu. Hi, Mr. Oni. Please, I want to ask Mr. Jury to mention physical projects that have been completed by the Buhari's administration. And of course, I will connect this particular question with the fact that the Southeasterners are saying they've been marginalized by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. And of course, when it comes to governance, what people want to see is infrastructure, physical projects. So I want you to be very specific what the Buhari's administration have achieved for the Southeasterners. They want to know. People are listening to you right now.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a myriad of things that have gone on, particularly in the Southeast. First of all, I understand the political dynamics of the various parts of this country. I understand how things are perceived where and all of that. The issue is this. we have to get to a point where we're dealing only on the basis of facts, only on the basis of what is true against what is false. And when you look at the various, and I'm going to be very specific about what I'm talking about. Let's look at the Southeast right now. You have a 206 billion naira bridge that is the most expensive bridge in the country, except for the third mainland bridge that is connecting Anambra and obviously Anambra and Delta. Now that bridge was a joy on a piece of paper for 40 years. Even when we had double the revenues we had now, where we did nothing about that project. Those who say that they love the Southeast so much, even from the zone, did nothing about that project. And this president has invested more than 90 billion naira already, almost half of the project sum. And our people are seeing 18-story pillars that lay across the entire waters. And we have already started the process of laying the bridge on top of the pillars. And it's going to be completed in the first quarter of 2022. Within this administration, it will be completed. If it's not, you will now know that I have told you what is false. And I do not tell falsehood. So that is one. That's the major one. That is one of the most significant projects anywhere in the country, and it's cited there. That's number one. Number two, the president, all of the work that has gone on from any person who is politically unbiased, who sees things as they are, will acknowledge what has happened on the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway. It is not yet completed, but I am a Port Harcourt boy. I am from River State. I'm from the Elene local government area of River State. I'm from the region. My wife is from Enugu and Anambra. I am one of you in the region. Okay. So the reality of the matter is that when you traveled on those roads in 2015, my brother, I personally traveled on those roads and almost died on Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway in 2015 even. But when you look at those roads, it was piles of mud. You will see oil tanker flipped on its head. Nothing like even road in that place, anywhere in that place. In the last 4 years, go and look at that road and tell me that President Muhammadu Buhari has not been working in the Southeast. Go to Onitsha Enugu Expressway. Look at all of the work that has gone on Onitsha Enugu Expressway. All of the work. It is not yet completed, but we have made several investments across the Southeast. That is not even including all of the social intervention programs, from Empower to conditional cash transfer to trader money that has benefited 3 million petty traders across the country, which did not exist before President Muhammadu Buhari came into power. So many different things. Do I need to even talk about Akanu Ibiam International Airport, which we had before now? We had 3 of the last 4 aviation ministers came from the Southeast geopolitical zone. Hardly anything was done in that airport. It was this president who released 10 billion naira to totally reconstruct the Akanu Ibiam International Airport runway to accommodate any of the updated international aircraft fleet anywhere in the world to be able to land in Enugu. And not only has he done that, the new international terminal is going to be completed within the next 6 to 9 months. And in addition to that, the president even looked at the design and said, you know what, this is not good enough for the people of the Southeast. Let me do more. So he now added a new international cargo terminal to the original design that was not there before. And it is Senator Hadi Sirika that is coming in and constructing all of these things for the benefit of the people of the Southeast as Nigerians. So look, the idea of marginalization compared to what our people in the Southeast saw for the 20 years before that is an absolute charade.
Okay, let's get more reactions on the phone line this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, good morning, SFS.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, what I have got from the...
Can you please move away from your listening device? Thank you very much.
Okay?
Move away from your listening device so that we can avoid the
okay, sorry.
feedback. Yeah, thank you.
So, what I'm saying is that the removal of the regulation is a bitter truth, and that Nigerians should support it. I want to thank Michael for bringing you on air.
Okay.
So, I mean, at least we hear from the part of the federal government. But I want to request that you ask Mr. President, this money that has not been removed from the regulation, some of us are suffering, the teachers, the pensioners, and other people. You should advance some of this money to the governors, like you do with the bailout fund, so that it could cushion the effect of this deregulation. We support Mr. President and all he has been doing, especially those of us from this part of the country. So thank him for us.
All right.
And ask him to do whatever.
Thank you for your contribution. You want to respond to that, Mr. Ajuri?
No, I just want to. I want to thank him for his contribution, and just to say that I know that there are many Nigerians in this country who understand that the removal of fuel subsidy is a very difficult decision that no government wants to take. That's why no government has done it. But if we're going to have a long-term health in that sector and in this country, where we're going to be able to invest resources that will ultimately have a return on investment in health, education, infrastructure, we have to make this move.
We need to get more reaction
at the time
now.
Just very quickly, the current situation forces decision on us. Ideally, we would have loved to have taken this decision at a time when the Dangote refinery was on stream, and next year we would have loved to have done that. The reality is the issue of COVID-19 forced our hand. We do not have the money.
Okay, you spoke about the survival fund, which Nigerians will start assessing from the 21st of September. Now, a message is coming from Eric here. It says if the MSMEs start 21st, when will it end? Because the traffic of all Nigerians applying at the same time.
Yes, thank you very much. So I would encourage anybody who wants to apply for that to do it as early as possible, because it is definitely going to be first come, first served. But that is not the only intervention that we're going to bring out to. It's just one out of several that are coming. We have a 2.3 trillion naira economic sustainability plan that has been designed and is being oversighted in implementation by His Excellency Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, that is touching every part of this country. So you're going to have the Special Public Works Program
we will speak extensively on the Nigeria Economic Sustainability Plan. That's actually one of the things that we will talk about this morning on the platform. But let's get more reactions on the phone lines now. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Mike. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning. Welcome.
Our guest, you're welcome, sir. Good morning.
God bless you. Good morning.
Please, sir.
What's your name, please?
My name's Aide and I'm calling you from Ohasa right now.
All right.
I have participated actively in the small, medium enterprise development agency of Nigeria. There was a training that was carried out, and we attended it, all the way from Ohasa to Bar for 5 good days. And we have filled our forms, and we were issued certificates of participation. We're waiting for these loans to be released, and up till now, since February and up till now, we've not heard anything. No information, no signal, nothing. What is it going to comment, sir? I'm talking about the SME.
Is that the Nassau Microfinance Bank loan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that we have been very open about that. We had that facility for 50 billion naira, and 92,000 households exhausted that fund. And so the CBN governor came out to announce that we're going to expand that fund, and that once the funds are available, we're going to open up that portal again for anybody who was unable to access the first tranche.
All right, that's explained. Let's talk about the National Sustainability Plan, Nigeria Economic Sustainability Plan, rather, which was approved by the Federal Executive Council. That was on the 24th of June 2020. Well, developed by the Economic Sustainability Committee established by the President Muhammadu Buhari. That was on the 30th of March 2020. That development of a plan that responds robustly to and appropriately to the challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, and of course some of the issues that plan will deal with is the identification of fiscal measures to enhance oil and non-oil government revenues and reduce non-essential spending, creation of a financial stimulus package for the Nigerian economy, articulation of specific measures to support the 36 states of the federal and the Federal Capital Territory, and very importantly, support for MSMEs and the creation of jobs. We want to know how far has the federal government gone with that plan?
Thank you very much. We're in the implementation phase right now. The survival fund that we're talking about, the grants of 75 billion on the survivalfund.ng website on September 21st is a part of the economic sustainability plan. It's part of the MSME interventions. There will be other interventions coming from the Bank of Industry. We're going to be giving zero interest loans. So people will be able to access zero interest loans not just for their businesses, but also for their households and things of that nature to lift them up during this very difficult time. In addition to that, the main thing that we're doing is job creation. You first of all have the Special Public Works Program, which we have already begun implementation, where we have set up state selection committees in every state of the Federation, including Abia, where you have a non-partisan individual. These are state chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, state chairman of the Islamic authorities, the heads of NGOs, academicians and professors and the like. They are involved in overseeing the recruitment of 1,000 young people from every local government area of the Federation that will be paid to conduct a very labor-intensive scheme that will reconstruct rural roads, linking strategic farms to markets, linking strategic industries to ports across the country. And the reason why the president designed it in such a way that it would be 1,000 from every local government area of the Federation is because he wanted to make sure that no part of Nigeria is marginalized, that there's equity in terms of distribution of spread of benefits and jobs. And that is cardinal in this plan. In addition to that, you have the agricultural component, which the governors of the Southeast have been very fantastic in collaborating with us on. How it works is every state government of the Federation has agreed to supply between 20,000 and 100,000 hectares of land. In exchange, the federal government is going to employ 5 million young people from all the states of the Federation to conduct a very labor-intensive land clearing and land cultivation scheme, where we are going to clear the land that have not been cultivatable into arable cultivatable lands. And then once that is done, they are going to be targeting high-value export commodities and cash crops, such as cashew, such as cocoa, groundnut, and others, so that we can expedite and quicken the process of diversifying our economy into food export. That is a major part of this plan, and it is fully funded.
Okay, let's get more reactions on the phone lines. We're already fast running to the end of the program this morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, welcome. What's your name?
Good morning.
You're welcome. Can you change your location, please?
I'm calling from Alabama.
Okay.
Thank you. What Nigeria are going through, you will not justify the things of removing this subsidy. I'm not talking about labor also. For 2 weeks now, in my place, I don't have light. Yes, they are increasing this.
We're finding it difficult to get that.
Let me just say to my brother very quickly. Let me just say to my brother, because I heard enough of his comments to address the issue. I have been very clear on this program, and I'm hoping that everybody was able to tune in from the beginning.
All right.
I was very clear in stating that this tariff regime is service-based. If you are not receiving up to 12 hours of light in a day, my brother, my sister, you will not receive even a kobo of increase in your tariff. It is based on service provision. If you don't get service, you don't go see increase in tariff. That is very, very, very important, very fundamental to understand. And then the capping regulation ensures that distribution company will not be able to send you, my brother, who is not receiving light. They will not be able to send you an estimated bill as if you are receiving light, so that you'll be paying for light that you're not enjoying. That has come to an end with the capping regulation, please. So let us please try and understand these issues very, very rationally.
All right.
Yes, good morning to you. Yes, what's your name?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Prince Will calling here from Omona, Chinobo local government area.
All right, Mr. Princewell.
I'm very, very grateful on the kind of person we have in the studio. He's a very good image lander. If I have him in my government, I don't think I should have a problem. My brother, congratulations.
Thank you.
Your question, please.
Now, my question is this. My brother, let us be factual in this nation. If this pandemic doesn't come to the world, do you think the price, the subsidy we are talking of will be reduced in Nigeria? That is one. Second, why is it that a country like Nigeria that has oil doesn't maintain its refinery, or none of the refineries is working? Why do we have such a problem? That's my thing. God bless.
Yes,
All right, thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Principal.
Thank you very much for those very important questions. First of all, to answer your question in a very straight way, I will tell you that the issue of the pandemic and the timing of the removal of subsidy are definitely one. That means that if there was no pandemic, I can assure you that the decision to remove the subsidy would not have come about now. It is literally a situation where you cannot afford something, because if you want to do that thing that you have been doing, you will have to take that money from somewhere else. Where will you take it from? Do you stop funding the armed forces against Boko Haram? Do you stop funding them? Do you stop equipping them? Stop equipping the police? Do you stop the salaries of civil servants around the country? It is better, my brother, to have an increased oil price in the country than to stop the salaries of millions of people who are depending on those salaries to feed. So these are issues that need to be very well understood. The second question that he asked had to do. Sorry, what was that second question?
Hello? Okay.
Yes, the second question my brother asked.
He's off the line already.
Okay, but you don't remember it.
Let's take some messages on our Facebook page. This one is coming from Sir Ike. It says, Mr. Ajuri, sir, I want you to prove me wrong that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan had approved the project's second mainland bridge, and most of the road project, especially that should be the second Niger bridge anyways, and most of the road projects, especially in the southeast, many of them paid for before this government of Buhari came in, and have only been denying such glory from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. That's coming from Sir Ike.
Thank you very much for raising that question. That question is a product of endless propaganda of an administration that knew that they could not produce a result. And so those who are producing the result, they are struggling to take credit for it. Let me be very, very clear. Anybody can Google this to verify and fact check what I am saying. The second Niger Bridge is funded under what we call the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, PIDF. That fund was started by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2017. Go and fact check what I am saying. 100% of the money for the second Niger Bridge has come from that fund. So anybody saying that the previous administration awarded it or did anything about it is speaking nonsense. That is number one. The other issue of Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway and Onitsha-Enugu Expressway, these projects are funded by Sukuk bonds. Sukuk bonds were not taken under President Goodluck Jonathan. They were taken out in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020 under President Muhammadu Buhari. There is no aspect of this project that had anything to do with Goodluck Jonathan's administration. The only exception is the Akanu Ibiam International Airport. The terminal building was awarded to CCCC by the Goodluck Jonathan administration. That is the one project that the Goodluck administration can say that they had awarded. But even with that, the funds that were brought by the Chinese, the law, was diverted by the aviation ministers that came from that zone into their own private enterprises. We have the proof. Now, what we have done, the president had now had to bring out 10 billion naira out of the federal fund to be able to augment the diversion that had taken place before 2015 on those projects. It was this president that constructed the new international runway at Enugu International Airport that should have been done with money from the Chinese, but was not done because it was diverted.
Mr. Ajuri, our time is fast spent. We have less than 3 minutes to wrap up things here, but it will be unfair not to talk about security issues now. We have issues with insecurity in Nigeria, and part of the gains being said to be made by this government is the fact that it wasn't like this before the Buhari's administration came into power. So the issue is, some persons are saying, well, we should sack the service chiefs. The president should sack the service chiefs because we still have issues in the northeast. We still have issues in the northwest. Even in the southeast here, we have issues occurring on a daily. So what can we say the president has achieved in the security sector?
Yes, thank you very much. So really, where we are now is, okay, So where we are now is a situation where in the country, a lot of times with security, people measure it based on what they are seeing on the ground in terms of the challenges. What they don't measure it against is how it would have been if not for the contributions of our armed forces. Right now, we are dealing with a regional threat that has put the entire, everybody talks about security situation in Nigeria, banditry, insurgency, as if it is a Nigerian problem. These are not just Nigerian problems. These are regional problems. If you go to Togo, go to Burkina Faso, go to Mali, go to Niger, they're having the very same challenges we're facing. The peculiarity of the challenge is that even if, and I'm not saying this is the case, but even if the Nigerian armed forces did everything the right and perfect way, if they do their own part, and the neighboring countries fail to secure their own areas, and these insurgents and bandits are able to go into Niger and Togo and all these places and recollect themselves, re-strategize, and then come back and hit us and then run again back to those places, it becomes a very serious problem. And we cannot control the internal affairs of these neighboring countries.
All right, Mr. Jure Ngalale, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Hopefully, we will have you some other time because we have issues to discuss. A lot of issues to discuss. But in one word,
I really look forward to it.
Okay, in one word, what would President Muhammadu Buhari be remembered for? Just in one word.
Infrastructure.
All right, great.
For me, it would be infrastructure and social investment. Those would be the two things that I would say at the end of his time when Second Niger Bridge is done, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is done, Lagos-Ibadan Rail Line is done, Abuja-Kano Rail Line is done. And look at the Port Harcourt International Airport that he put in place. Of course, all the roadway networks across the southeast and the airport will soon be finished. All these things Nigerians will certainly remember him for.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jure Ngalale, the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Public Affairs, for joining us this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM.
God bless all of you. I look forward to coming back as soon as possible. Let's keep the conversation going.
All right. Thank you very much. Of course, that's how far we can go this morning on the program. We do appreciate your time on the program, the platform. It's a special edition. And of course, many thanks for joining. We do appreciate the guest also. So let the conversation continue on our social media platforms, Flow FM, Flow 949 FM, on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. You can also tweet at me at Mike Oni. Many thanks to the producer of the program, Samson Aide. The program returns on Friday. My name is Michael Oni. You can
at Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business, high-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.